Hello, I welcome you to Wednesday Wellness Chat. I'm Dr. Michelle Fritsch, co-founder of Propel Comprehensive Wellness, and today we're going to pull together a number of topics that we've been talking about over the last few weeks. So to start, I encourage you to take a deep breath and think about how deep are your reserves at this time. If you think of it as the gas tank of your life, of your emotional capacity, of your physical capacity right now, how full is your tank? And I'll tell you, a piece of that is another thing that we've been talking about recently. What is your comfort level with being transparent or vulnerable? And I mention this from the standpoint of when you're struggling, when there's something going on that you just can't quite figure out yourself, it's really weighing on you, it's impacting your sleep. When that is happening, how open are you to reaching out to someone else? Not that you're going to share it with everybody that you come across, but is there somebody that you would trust to take that concern and work on it together? Being able to share those things and to find solutions together is one of the things that keeps your reserves full. There are a lot of changes going on in our world right now, and there's this constant buzz of stress. And I'm finding that sometimes we recognize it, but a lot of times we've just come to accept it. We ignore it, shove it down, don't really think too much about it. And I'm here today to talk about what an impact that actually has on your life, on your health short term, and some new evidence of the impact on your health long term. Some really confirming or startling, I don't know what is the better word, for a study that just came out confirming the link to your long-term health. So today, we're going to pull all of this together. How are you managing stress? Are you recognizing it in your life? Are you open to sharing when it becomes hard to manage? And do you have very specific strategies that you use in your life to manage it? For instance, how much are you consuming news, whether it's on the television, on your phone, through other sources? When you speak to friends and neighbors, how much of that conversation is about positive things and how much consumes some of the news or other things that might be distressing? How is your sleep? That is so often a telltale sign of your overall ability to manage the stresses around you. Often, when it's difficult to relieve those stresses, your sleep's disturbed. People will wake up after a short amount of sleep, perhaps not have good strategies to get back to sleep, not know how to turn off what's going on in their head. We have strategies for that. What about for all of the negative that you might consume, all of the things that you are seeing on the news, hearing about from friends and neighbors, especially people that are really just needing to complain and vent right now, and you're around all of that. How much do you balance that with something that's more positive for you? What relaxes and calms me might not be the same thing that calms you. So I want you to take a minute and do a self-inventory. As we're doing it, I encourage you to breathe deeply because we often go through the day with just shallow breaths. So one of the things that helps calm your brain and calm your nervous system is just to breathe deeply. And then I want you to think about how much stress are you feeling? Are there sources of negativity that are around you, around the people that you love, around the people that you spend time with most during the day? And then what are you doing for your own self-stress management? How is your sleep? How much time are you spending moving your body? Whether that's going to the gym or walking or dancing, but really moving your body. How much time are you spending connecting with other people, especially connecting in a fun way? Whether that's having a conversation, grabbing a meal, going to see an event together. Some would say, if you're in a warm enough climate, how much time are you spending barefoot? How much time do your toes get to touch the grass? For some people, it's very calming. How often do you shut out all the noise? When's the last time you were in a place that was truly silent? It's very hard to find. When was the last time that you explored all of your senses? Take a time to be in a place that is hopefully silent. Look around, take in the details that you see, and then close your eyes and see what you listen, what you hear when you listen, what you smell, what you taste, and what you feel. Whether it's where you're seated, where your feet are touching the floor, where your hands are placed. Even if you're in the middle of a busy meeting, stopping, nobody even has to know really that you're doing it, and experience all of your senses is another way to just calm our systems. So I want to share my screen, and I've talked about this before, but I need to put it in the context of this study that came out because I'm just very interested in all of you having a chance to see this. So as I share my screen, I want to explain
When
how
stress
all of
and
these
fear
pieces
are
come together.
uncontrolled, they impact your health.
And I
You
need
have a
to
shorter
turn that
fuse,
off. Hold
are
a
more
second.
likely to have stress eating and
I
drinking.
forgot that I had
Your
recorded
sleep
this.
is disturbed. You don't cope as
I'll be
well.
quiet.
And inside your body, it causes increased inflammation that has many effects, including increased blood pressure and risk of heart disease, increased blood sugar and risk of diabetes, more difficult to manage depression and anxiety, a weaker immune system, which ultimately can increase your risk of dementia and cancer. Let's get on top of that stress and fear now.
So let's go back to that and just look at it for a second. The new study that came out was looking at women and breast cancer in particular and looked at the sources of stress. And I was impressed. This particular study looked at an equivalent number of white and black women. Often studies are done without a lot of diversity in the study. And they looked at various types of stress, both kind of personal stress and environmental stress, the stress of perhaps not having access to like financial stress, not having access to things you need within your community. So it looked at stress on multiple levels. And what it found was the more identifiable stress, a very direct link to inflammation. Inflammation in the body that brought about more of the destructive cytokines within the body. It made the cells more susceptible to the effects of cancer, and it diminished the protective effects of the immune system to fight the cancer. So not only were the people more susceptible to cancer, they were less able to fight the cancer cells that were there. So when you think about this weakened immune system, they were able to really objectively measure that. And along with that, the risks of cancer. Again, susceptibility to cancer was up, the ability to fight cancer was down. So there have been other studies that have looked at very similar things. It's just more validation, more examples of how deeply important this is. We may not feel the stress. We may not recognize the stress. We might try to suppress the stress. But if we're not actually releasing it, our body is responding. Short term, the weaker immune system might lead to a susceptibility to coughs, colds, COVID, flu, shingles, kind of whatever is going around. But longer term, it's increasing risk of cancer. We don't want those coulda, shoulda, wouldas. I didn't know. I would have paid more attention to the stress if I'd only known. And the other area in which this type of data is being accumulated is around dementia. So the risk of Alzheimer's disease in particular is higher based on the amount of stress you endure in your lifetime. Wow. If you've got children or grandchildren, this is a great time to learn this and to help them with stress management techniques from a very, very young age. Those of us that have lived a few decades and already had exposure to stress over time, it's not too late. It's not too late to manage that stress, to be way more proactive in how you do that so that at least you're reducing the risk from this point forward. This is a message worth sharing. So I encourage you to make this part of that conversation you have with friends and family members and neighbors. And at Propel Comprehensive Wellness, we've got a number of tools available to you to help sleep, to help manage and cope with conflict in your life, to manage stress, to incorporate a number of different tools daily, how you start your day, how you manage stress when you feel it building up, how you recognize it, how you end your day to allow yourself to sleep better. So I invite you to contact me and we can walk through the tools that work best for you. I kind of mentioned this earlier. What relaxes me may not relax you, but we've got a large number of tools for you to try and see which ones work the best. So we're always here for you, and I would love to open this up for any comments or questions that you have.